So thank you, Gary. I wanted to start with one of the rule of thumb when you were talking. One of my vice presidents in the PPM project told me, if you are an optimistic, always have on your team a pessimistic and vice versa. It's a great rule of thumb. You need to, look at your schedule. So Roberto and I have been talking for the past couple of months about, you should present your idea. So this is about really reframing your way of thinking, project management in terms of project production, and my journey, my personal journey through it. And I will tell you more about my journey probably during the panel. So let me tell you a little bit more about myself, despite I already done a great job. So yeah, I have now 17 years in major project. I joined actually out of my PhD at postdoc at MIT. They come to BP came and say, I need to figure out uncertainty, and they plugged me. Because of my study in stochastic modeling, they plugged me immediately in reservoir engineering. And then after 6 months, I said, I don't think this is where actually you need to manage your uncertainty. I think I better fit in projects. So I started my journey in projects and, of course, in concept development. And then I get kind of sucked into decision quality, which I love, and it's a way for me to speak in a way that people understand the decision quality is more palatable than stochastic modeling to people. And then, of course, I've been told that my background was too theoretical still. So they say, you need experience, go on a construction yard for a few months. And I stayed there, and I'm still there. So I proud myself to kind of understand a little bit of decision quality, risk management. I've done my modeling day, not on the runway, but I've done tons of programming, performance management, and still I wanted to still a victim of the unexpected. So now I'm not. I do believe in randomness and in unexpected to a limit. So the question is the outcome truly unexpected and unpredictable? Or so what can we do about it? So let me move a little bit. So if you are here, you know the answer to this question, and is more the same enough, and it's not. So what can we do before progress? Over these 17 years of wonderful experience, I have my war stories, not as many as Gary, for sure. But I have come to a realization of 3 simple truths. One is that as we move away from the front line, my favorite place is offshore and the construction yard, we fail to envision all the parts of the system and the dynamics of it. Despite the fact that as we progress in our career, become project engineer, delivery manager, project general manager, executive, whatever, we get more power. It's incredible. No? The second simple truth I came out with, to terms with, is we come up with simplistic view because we are forced by our stakeholder and our executive. And then that's turned into a reality itself. It's incredible. So the message has to be simple for the vice president of project. So we need to have white slides, 3 bullets, just say. And it's what I have to start with what is that embrace complexity. I'm going to go off script. One thing that I really like is to study product design. I like architecture and, furniture and things like that. I'm Italian, so I like this stuff. And there is a famous professor in design, used to work at MIT, John Mida, And he came with the law of simplicity. And he said, if you are tackling a product, simplify the complexity, hide your complexity, but at the third stage, embrace your complexity. Is that for a reason? And I think that we all forget that. We forget this, no? And the term the realization has come up with is our confidence, the ultimate results is lies the root in having a schedule, a contract or multiple contracts, and performance tracker to gazillion of things we track. We slice and dice, and now with Power BI, and it's like crazy. So, but then we believe that all these things are going to provide us control, and so we have confidence. And so this is a circular truth that we are into this, where we're in this merry-go-round. So these are the three things that come to it. So I'm young but wise. What can I say? No, I'm not. I'm my age. So I start messing around with the project production. I wanted to tell the story at the part, but I'll tell the story right now. So I was complaining to my admin, who is a technical manager at Chevron, about that the project lacks science, and it's always this, living looking at TVs, and he said, you should give project production a go. And so my husband was right once. So I followed lead, and that's how it happens that I did this mini project with Gary and Roberto and Jay about this new build. It was this greenfield FSC, bringing link to an existing facility. It was amazing for me. The classification of the project is not complex for VBP processes. When you look at the amount of money, but when you look at, we had a VPC contractor, 3 major contracts. We had the key production center all over. We were operating in Mexico, we were doing engineering in Houston, and then Chennai, and then we had Trinidad offshore, and then we had a piece of engineering in Trinidad, and then we were building this module in Florence that they were building a compressor, but they don't know how to build modules. So, and then of course we had COVID. Every single project in the last 5 years had COVID and changed things. So this is what I discovered by using PPM. We were in the middle of, we were finishing construction in Mexico, and we decided to, I said to my executive, I don't know, they were busy reinventing the company, so they said yes, and they said, can we just look at the offshore schedule and look at through PPM? And this is what we found through that exercise. We found a great amount of execution variability. And how do you see it? They show it to me. It's like you see this task duration, variability in task duration, in type of task, and different type of resources coming up and down, and then different resources. 1 minute you need more painters, and then another minute you need fitters. That doesn't make any sense. So your system cannot respond to this variability. But then the other thing that was evident through this analysis is that the higher execution variability choke your utility rates. And the second is these high chances of delays. We already talked about it. The already responses in the call is you are not going to finish all the tasks you plan to finish. Your schedule is not reliable. But what people don't understand about the variability of the schedule is that your uncertainty, and this is where my stochastic modeling acts here, is that it is not dynamic. So it's going to be even worse than you actually are calculating and expecting. So the other finding for me was a long task duration. So There were huge, long tasks for months in his schedule that had to go at this being completed. You cannot manage a task so long for months. So for me, the other organization was batching. The right size of batching is, for me, is the first sign of predictability. It means you have your hands around what you are going to do. You understand it. The other thing means that your schedule was not a you, but the people who are actually doing the work. Because what I really like is, I love when I love spending time offshore and spending time with them, because they look at you and say, honey, this is how it's gonna work. And they tell you in your face. So, I'll answer that, my guy. No, so as I said, batching is the first sign of predictability. Okay, do you understand what's going on day in, day out? The third realization for me is the high amount of tasks per worker. I was joking, we were putting this presentation together with the help of Roberto, say, I think we should make a movie and we should call it In the Pursuit of Productivity. Because these, what's your productivity? I've been in conversation now, I work in turnarounds, and they look at me and say, what's your productivity? And I said, and they give me a number. This is the productivity for Gulf of Mexico. And I said, have you looked at your data? You cannot even manage the schedule, but they give me the number of productivity and they want me to reflect that in the schedule. Is another self-fulfilling prophecy. So we are not looking at the nature and velocity of your system. Okay? If you have a child that it's like saying that your child is studying, my daughter's 6.5, and you said, oh, by now she should read this book. No, she cannot do it. So what am I? Am I gonna buy these books because according to the schedule she should be able to read those? No, that's not how it works. So the concept of productivity is for speed of the us. What we should tell is, as delivery manager, as project manager, this is the natural speed of my system. What can I do to improve it? We have to, and the people on the front line know exactly what is the speed. So now if we want to listen to them, that's another story. So what's next? Forgot. Okay. So yes, now I'm doing turnarounds. I want us to do something else, and people say, hey, you go to turnarounds? Yes. So I am applying. I did a course last year. I get more and more familiar with the PPM. I wish I could do more modeling, but I'm applying the principle. And one is the principle is the true velocity of the system, existing system. What is your system? Which base is durable? The other one is the batching, the early release of work. I applied these for work planning. We batched it in a way that we knew that work has to be done. So he's moved, stop messing around with that, move it to the planning phase. You can move it, you can. And it was a very difficult conversation with the contractor. The contractor said, what if you got to change idea? I said, I'm not going to, it has to be done. So I had to get sign-up from the vice president of operation in order to get that work released for the contractor to know that that work will get done. So for them, also for the contractor people, is like, am I using my resources not in the right way, efficiently? And then reframing the conversation around risk. I'm sure all of you, if we're working on project, have huge risk register. Now with Power BI, you have all the colors in the rainbow. Waste in there for risk. But the question is, why are we talking about risk? We should talk about production roadblocks. What is my production roadblocks? I want to do this work, and that is a different type of conversation. Redrawing the system boundaries. That's another thing. When you were describing the story of Kazakhstan, you didn't understand your system boundaries. You didn't understand. So I said, when we talk about hard turnaround, people say, okay, you have your boot diagram. When you're going to start? When you're going to finish? And I said, whoa. I have a month before that and 2 months before that. What are we going to do offshore? When are you going to leave me the space offshore? What are the current conditions? You need me. I've been in conversation about switch system of the plan of the platform. If a platform is capable to have 200 additional people, so what is your plan condition? When are you going to maintain the crane that I need to use for 40 days every single hour of the day? So these are the boundary of the system. Reframing, as I said, the conversation around productivity. I think one of the, I don't know why we don't learn from safety. One of the golden rules of safety is envision how the work is going to happen. I think is a IUG piece, golden rule is envision how work is going to happen. And that should be the golden rule of project management. Envision how your work is going to happen. So productivity, I still have to talk about productivity because that is the language that people talk about. But now I have a different way of talking about productivity. I said, okay, you want to talk about, you want to engage with me and talk about productivity. Let's talk about the productivity on the intermediate deck, on the upper deck, on the northwest corner, at the beginning of the window, at the end of the window. So let's have a different way of talking about productivity. We have the data, let's model it, let's look at it. So that's what I'm doing basically. So trying to change conversation. So since I wanted to, these are my 3 points. So we all being told to be more agile. Okay. So in an agile flat organization, we have to have a strong connection with the front line. They know exactly what's going on. The front line should be at the center of your production system. I think we speak more to the executive than to the front line these days. Production management does not only allow to listen to the front line, but to bring it actually be at the front stage and manipulate the work with the front line inputs. So project management, and I think that's the other realization, project management tools are biased. We are built by people and therefore are going to be biased. So to me, they have to be handled with the extra care. And that's why having this interplay with project production and the classical project management tool for cost and schedule had to really tease out that bias. And the other thing is that I know Roberto did an excellent job at talking about, that we need schedule and project production, the interplay with it. But this is my very simple definition, is that one difference for me between project production and production system and the production control in the schedule is the worker. So I'm sure you have heard so many times we talk about a resource-loaded schedule, but some of the people are the only leaders that we talk about. Bring more people, get me more leaders. And they become also the scapegoat. You don't have enough people. Okay. So in the production system, people are complementary to other things. We are not allowing ourselves to think about the other levers, no? So the capacity I was talking about, the variability. So we don't do that. We just talk about people. So that's basically my, 2 cents to contribute to this debate. Thank you, guys. And for